Hey everyone, just wanted to do a quick Sea Monkey Tank update, let you guys know what I worked on today. I think a lot of you guys have seen my videos before and some of my posts and photos, stuff like that. One thing that I've been doing pretty well is growing algae in my tanks, which you can see. I love how the algae is growing in this one, right? That's the Magic Aquarium, which is like the glowing ocean zoo. Big sheets of algae. Sea monkeys love it. You can see them munching on it right now. A couple of the other tanks that I have up front, we got the little mini world. We got on the left, we got the moon. In the middle, we got the beach, and on the right, we've got the city. The city and the moon tanks I've had going since January or so. Those colonies have been going since December. They're originally in glass jars, though. Moved them to these tanks a month or so later. That sounds right. I think it was in January. Anyways, we had a lot of algae, also lots of just gunk, build up on the bottom of the tanks. And I mean, that gunk is a mixture of all sorts of stuff, right? It is a mixture of algae, uneaten food, possibly unhatched eggs, dust that's fallen into the water, sea monkey poop, uh, yeah, all sorts of stuff. Shells, sea monkeys molt. If you didn't know that, they molt their shells like other crustaceans, like crabs do, and stuff like that. Almost like how a snake sheds their skin. It's a similar process. And a sea monkey that lives a full life will molt their shell 7 times in their lifetime between when they're an infant and when they're infant might not be the right word, but you know what I mean. When they're a baby to when they're an adult. So I mean, those get on there. So you get lots of gunk down there. It's algae, food, poop, sea monkey shells, all sorts of crap, right? And I was getting a lot. Go look at my last 2 videos or so, and you can see how much is down there. I've done a gunk removal on the big tank before. This mess, that one worked pretty well. I haven't done it on any of the smaller tanks. So today we did it on 2 tanks. We did it on the moon and the city. The city was getting pretty bad. Last time I did one of these, I posted a video. I got a lot of comments saying, "Don't pull that out. It's algae, and people and the sea monkeys eat it, and you're hurting them." And not hurting them. I feed them regularly, and I've got a lot of algae still in there. I did not remove everything, just a lot of the floating gunk. So I'll show you guys. Here is our city tank. If it'll focus in there. Mobile photography is not always easy. There we go. And there's not a ton of sea monkeys in here. They like to hang in the back. You can sort of see some of them. There's one right down in the bottom middle. Oh, here comes another female there. There's a few more in the back. We got some teenage looking ones and some babies in here too. Hard to see them on video. But there's still algae growing. You can see it growing on the buildings. You can see some growing on the ground. But a lot of that whole layer of gunk down there is gone now. And you know what? It'll build back up and they're going to be just fine. But now the water's a little bit more clear, easier to see these guys. We did the same thing in this one. Now if you look in here, I'll have to add more water. I haven't done that yet. We've got adults, we got lots of babies in here. And pretty much the whole ground here is still covered in green algae. But the floating gunk that was down there, that was a couple millimeters thick, has been taken out. And what I do is I just suck it out with a pipette. Here, I'll show you. This is the actual pipette that I used. I trimmed the end of it so that way the opening's a little bit bigger. So that way I can get in thicker gunk, right? And I just put it in there and sucked it out. And then I squeezed it into this glass right here. Use a clear glass, and that way if I get any baby sea monkeys in there, I let it settle, and I can suck those babies back out and put them back in the tank. Look at all that gunk that's settled down there. I did this several hours ago. So I did get baby sea monkeys in there with it, and I sucked them back out and put them into their tanks. And look, oh, I see another baby that I did not get yet. You see him swimming around in there by the eye and ginger. All right, we'll have to get him as soon as I'm done with this video. So the plan is let that sit there for 3 days or so. The gunk has settled pretty well. That way, if there's any babies that I missed, I can suck them back out and put them in their tank. we don't want to kill babies in the process. So yeah, so that's what we did today. We sucked the gunk out of those 2 tanks. Still have algae in there for them to eat and to help aerate the tanks. Of course, I still aerate daily. You can see I've got air tubes going into all my tanks. And I still feed them, 2 to 3 times a week. So they're going to be just fine in a little bit cleaner aquariums now. So here you go. Again, gunk removal in here. This tank is thriving. Look at all those sea monkeys in there. They're beautiful. Yeah. And then in this one too, gunk removal. Not as big of a colony here. This one's been sort of dwindling for a while, but we still got a lot. I didn't touch this one today, but you can see we've got a nice layer of algae down there. Water still looks clean though. We don't have a whole lot of floating gunk. That's what I don't like. But we got great algae down there for them to eat. We didn't do anything with this tank today besides feed it. And the other tanks are all doing well too. Didn't really do anything with them today besides feed them, but if you want to see them real quick, here we've got this mess. Lots of sea monkeys in there. Lots of algae growing. We got the magic aquarium, which I showed you guys briefly earlier. Sort of hard to see. There's a lot of adult sea monkeys in here, not tons of babies, and they latch right onto that big leafy algae and they just eat it all day long. And we've got the Ocean Adventure tank, which has got a lot of babies in it. This colony just started a week ago or so, not even a week ago. So yeah, everything's going well. Hope you guys are having a great night. Oh, look at that. The growth lights just kicked on. So you guys have probably seen those in other videos of mine, but I've got these 3 lights. They look like black bars if you're looking at them from behind, but we got here, back there, this one. Those are the grow lights. They're on for 9 hours, then off for 9 hours, on for 9 hours, off for 9 hours. It just repeats in a cycle like that. Obviously they're working. You can see you've got algae growing in all these tanks, short of the Ocean Adventure, but that one's brand new. Algae takes a couple months to start growing. At least it has for me so far. But yeah, that's what's going on with the sea monkeys today. As soon as I get off from recording this video, we'll go save that baby, put him back in his tank. We'll keep this gunk sitting here on my desk for a few more days just to make sure there's no other babies. Then we'll get rid of that and wash that glass really well. All right, have a good night, guys. Bye-bye.